What I found about it, it's like a Jamaican word. It's very clean.
Drama.
When I went in there, it was crazy.
Chris had one job. Cook a fish, Chris.
Verdict.
It could go either way.
6 countries sent their best chefs to plead their case. Who will take home the $10,000 award? All rise for the Maggi Food Court Caribbean Season 3. Previously on Maggi Food Court Caribbean, our defendants were made to plead their cases 1 versus 1 in the merciless knockout rounds. Chefs Ridge, Shakir, and Sean have already gone home, while Chef Jamelia, Damien, and Carrie advance. Only 3 spots remain in the next round.
All rise. Maggi Food Court is now in session. Presided over by Judge Geronimo.
This is episode 4 of Maggi Food Court Caribbean. In this episode, 6 of our chefs will go to battle in one-to-one combat. They'll be required to focus strictly on a cuisine that's often overlooked and underrated, but definitely one which possesses the strongest and freshest flavors. That is vegetarian cuisine. Let's see at the end who will remain the strongest. That being said, let the trials begin.
In this episode, Maggi Food Court Knockout Round continues. 6 of the remaining 12 chefs battle each other in a 1 versus 1 style face-off. The defendants have 40 minutes to prepare a vegetarian dish, one-on-one against their opponent. This culinary case is presided over by Maggi Food Court Judge Jaron Geronimo Green. Our jury members are Business Executive Officer of Nestle Caribbean, Okino Petrie, Celebrity Chef Adrian Fort, and cooking show host from the Food Network, Roger Mooking. Battle 1, Chef Samara versus Chef Rayan. Let's take a look at Chef Samara's case file.
I am Samara Lizama. People call me Sam or Chef Sam. We're here at my restaurant/kitchen/home in Arima. Catering is the main focus of my business, but I try to have a niche in fine dining and a supper club concept. I have a wooden table that was built by my dad, where we try to do 4-course menus with things you've never had before, so I get to have creative freedom.
When she gets up and she prepares breakfast, you see everything on the plate. You look at it and you wonder if you should actually see all her talent displayed when she cooks.
My passion for cooking started when I was maybe 16 years old, and then I realized, hey, this is something I really love and I can't see myself not doing. Seriously started to pursue it. I started traveling and going all over the world in pursuit of good food and knowledge.
I think that Samara is going because, she can give something positive to the competition and help those in the competition as well to be the best they could be.
So it's time to show the region some of what I've got.
Let's take a look at Chef Rayan's case file.
Hi, my name is Rayan Clark and I am a chef de partie at the Broken Plate. Cooking has been a part of my life for quite a while now. I grew around my aunties and my grandmother. It's a lot of cooking. Originally from Westmoreland, I came to Kingston. I stayed with my aunt. She had a cook shop and I was spending a lot of time with her. I realized that I can make a career out of this, so I went to culinary school and I've been doing my thing since then.
He is very aggressive culinary-wise, very passionate. He's creative. He tends to always try to do stuff. Like it's always the need to put things together to see if it works.
I find a lot of confidence when I'm cooking. I tend to deal with people better, communicate better. Basically, I'm more of myself when I'm cooking. I try to be the best version of myself here.
And really and truly, that's what culinary is about. Making the unexpected very much expected.
I'm coming to the Maggi Food Court. I'm coming to represent Broken Plates and myself. I'm coming to set an example. And yeah, I'm coming to win this thing.
Now, let's go to court.
Chef Rayan, Chef Samara, welcome back to court. All right, so in this challenge, you will be battling one-to-one. Everything rides on this challenge because at the end, only one of you will move on. So the challenge requires that you focus strictly on vegetarian cuisine. You can use dairy, cheese, as well as any ingredient from the pantry and from the fridge, and all those Maggi seasonings and spices you have there. How do you feel about that challenge?
Honestly, I was trying to feel nervous. But for some reason, I wasn't nervous. I feel like I can handle that challenge.
You feel like you can handle it. Chef Samara, how are you feeling?
When I heard the challenge was veg, I thought it would be a challenge, as I was expecting some form of meat, but I guess it's called a challenge for a reason. Pretty good, confident.
Good. All right, so both of you are given 45 minutes in which to prepare your dishes for the jury. Your time begins now.
Coming into the kitchen, would you expect a vegetarian challenge?
I really welcome the vegetarian challenge. You know, I love vegetables. I also love protein, but I love vegetables.
I'm always curious as to who was the first person that saw a chicken running around and see a tree growing and decide I'm gonna have the tree.
So the challenge is a veg challenge, and for that I'll be making a gnocchi, which I will make by hand.
Oh, you see that? Look like Samara cut her finger.
That's definitely gonna set her back because now, of course, you know, safety is a priority in this kitchen.
Medic, let me get a piece of tape, please. I cut off my fingernail, and I don't want blood in it. Quickly.
Not just that, but she's planning on making gnocchi. She's gonna have to roll pasta, so you know, might be a little bit of a challenge.
Let's see how she recovers from that. I think what I understand from the rules is she's not gonna get any extra time because of cutting her finger. So it's definitely important that she ensures that she drives it home and makes that finishes that dish on time.
She's really gonna have to hustle to make up for last time.
So the dish that I prepared is a stuffed zucchini with a spicy coconut curry sauce. So the dish was quite straightforward.
I'll add some grilled mushrooms, some pickles. I'll do pickle bell peppers, pickled tomatoes with a bit of red wine. Top that with some fried garlic and fresh micros.
And to me it was a simple execution. I knew exactly what I was doing. I had prepped all that I needed for the dish.
Pasta is easily one of my favorite foods. I have a thing for tradition and not using shortcuts. So homemade gnocchi, I'm good at that. $35 to go or left?
I started cooking about halfway through. Didn't want to overcook anything, so I tried to start cooking at the right time.
Hold on.
Chefs, you have 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes.
Yep.
You had to find a tongue?
Hold on.
Tongues.
Look at tweezer here, a big one. This is the best I could do for you, if you want it. No?
Thanks, a phone one.
Less than. They just tell us 5.
Ricardo's voice is literally in my head right now.
Sorry.
Played the right time. Everything was on point. Honestly, everything.
Three, two, one.
All right, chefs, that's it. Step away from the counter. Your time for cooking is done. All right, Chef Sam, how do you feel about your dish?
Good.
You feel good?
Yes, sir.
You stand behind it?
I have no choice.
All right, all right. Chef Rayan, how are you feeling about your dish?
Good.
Good. You think this is a $10,000 vegetarian dish?
Yes, I do.
You stand behind it. All right, so that's it. We will present your dishes to the jurors for the final verdict.
It's time to present the dishes to the jury.
Rayan, what did you make here? Today I made a stuffed zucchini with a spicy coconut curry sauce.
What was your inspiration behind the dish? And do you have a lot of experience working with vegetarian clients and cooking vegetarian dishes?
I've cooked for a few vegetarians, but this dish is something that I had in my mind from a while back. I never tried it before, but as soon as Geronimo said vegetarian, it just clicked to me and I just started working and moving towards it. I felt confident that I could pull it off.
All right, thank you, chef. All right, let's dig in. It's very colorful, you know, it draws you in. You definitely want to try it based on all the different stuff that's on the plate.
First thing I do when I'm looking at a dish like this, I want to see the vibrancy in the vegetable. I want to make sure that it still look crisp and bright, and the vibrancy, the colors are bright. It tells me you cooked it properly, you know?
Yeah.
I'm loving the notes of spice that I'm getting, a little bit of ginger, very well balanced.
Try the choy. The choy is excellent. Perfectly seasoned, perfectly crispy. My grandfather's a Chinese man, so trust. I eat plenty of this.
I think he really brought his A game with this one.
It's perfect. That's a vegetable that's very easy to screw up. People often overcook it, soggy. Amazing cook on the bok choy.
Well, I think it's time to welcome Samara. All right, Chef Samara, tell us about your dish.
So today I made a potato gnocchi from scratch. Potato, nutmeg, palm, egg yolks. On top of that, I would have put marinated mushrooms that I grilled with ginger, Asian spices. To that, we have a play on a pickled bell pepper and scotch bonnet. That's the yellow at the side. And the tomatoes are supposed to mimic a balsamic. So you're supposed to have it as a collective bite. Enjoy.
How did you prepare the tomatoes? They're very red and like vibrant. That's the first thing I noticed.
Red wine. Red wine, sugar, vinegar.
Just one more thing. Are you proud of this dish?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy.
Well, again, guys.
Yeah, again, a good mix of colors. I don't know why we still have to have the microgreens, especially in this case where we already have so many vegetables. Like, you didn't need it in this instance, maybe. But let me try.
That tomato is very sour, very acidic.
I think when you put a bite with it though, it's very dynamic. I'm not sure I love it, but it's dynamic. Gnocchi is supposed to be smooth, supple, tender. If you're pan sauteing it like this, you want to get a little crust on the outside, some browning to caramelize and develop the flavor, but the inside should be tender and soft without feeling gummy. This, she was mashing it up with her hands. So there were big chunks of potato that just aren't going to be smooth to produce something like this.
All right, I think it's time for us to deliberate.
Let's hear what the jury has to say.
All right, so Rayan and Samara, right? What do you guys think?
You know, again, I'm a fan of vegetable and vegetable dishes, and off sight alone, I looked at Rayan's dish, and I could tell that the choy was crisp, perfectly blanched. When I tasted it, it's perfectly seasoned. You could taste the choy and the seasoning balanced perfectly in the natural element of it. The zucchini cooked perfectly. The sauce was impeccable. All the vegetables inside the bowl were flawless. I have to tell you, like, it's one of the best vegetarian dishes I've eaten.
Yeah, I think with Samara, she also made it a little easy in my opinion. The dish was just completely salt. You could not have more than about maybe 3 bites of it because after a while the salt kind of overpowers the entire dish.
I agree. I felt like she had an idea in her head, she stuck with it. I had really, really high hopes for her dish. When it first came out, I thought it was vibrant. The tomatoes were cute and it was popping. And I really wanted to like it, but as you said, it just wasn't executed properly. Rayan's dish, however, everything was so flavorful, you know, even from down to the knife cuts. He's a guy that looks like he knows what he's doing, and I think he's probably going to get really far in this competition.
It's one of those situations where I would definitely tip. But I think we've come to a decision. Bailey?
Chefs, Chef Samara, Chef Rayan, you are given a challenge to bring the vegetarian cuisine to life. One chef executed it perfectly. Technically, sound, flavor-wise, absolute perfection. The other chef, not so much. Chef Sam, the jurors thought that your dish just did not rise to the occasion. And in light of that, I'm sorry to say, but you will be going home. Chef Rayan, congratulations.
I went there and I did what I had to do. I mean, I was emotional. To move on to the next round is very good. The person that I challenged is a good chef. I've spoke to her. She pushed me. I feel like I am a problem in this competition for anybody that I'm cooking against. But I'm coming for this. I'm coming for this championship.
I think the decision was fair. I think the judges have experience and they know what they're looking for. So if Rayan's dish edged mine, that's perfectly fine. Even making it here, yes, I feel like I've achieved my goal. Just getting to Jamaica, getting to filming, getting on set. And to everyone back at home, thank you for everything.
Battle 2, Chef Antonio versus Chef Kawame. Let's take a look at Chef Antonio's case file.
My name is Antonio David Norton. I am from Guyana. Right now we are in the Hard Rock Cafe. I always had a love for cooking. When I was just a child, I would always be at home and you'd always find me, you know, scrambling eggs or doing toast.
Over the years, Antonio make me proud. Everything that he do it professionally. And I'm in love with his cooking.
Antonio is very passionate about what he does.
I always have this hunger to learn more about the culinary arts and what it has to offer.
I've been working with Antonio for over 2 years now. I have seen him develop his plate and his ideas, his creativity.
I follow Antonio on social media. I do not see anything else but food.
Guyanese cuisine is like a melting pot of flavors. It allows us to actually be more creative. You can actually combine 2 of our ethnic groups and give you something more different.
Please ensure that you show them it got proper chefs.
And bring home the gold for Guyana.
I know last season Guyana would have fell short, in the competition, but I can reassure you that this time we are coming with a bang.
Let's take a look at Chef Kawame's case file.
I am Kawame Dawkins. I'm a line chef here at Broken Plate. As a youth, I used to thief out chicken out of my mother's pot, and she used to catch me and run me. So I made up my mind to start cooking for myself at a very young age, like 10, 11, like something like that. I'm gonna cook for my little brother, my mother and father, just to get a feel of it and realize I have a real passion for it. I'm not a very bold person or things like that, but when I'm in the kitchen, I'm, let's say, a big dog.
He is also creative, he's also full of intuition. He gets the job done.
I feel like I have a very unique way of cooking because I don't want to cook with only taste, I cook with passion and also emotions. So I feel that give me the edge.
I have all the confidence in you, bro. Go there, do your best. Without a doubt, I know you're going to go there and knock it out of the park. Honestly, not worried, not for threatening you because you don't know what you got. But I know you're going to do your best, so just go out there, my friend, and just do the do.
To my contestants, the big dog is coming. I'm Chef Kawame, and I'm coming to the Maggi Food Court, Caribbean.
Now, let's go to court. The defendants have 40 minutes to prepare a vegetarian dish, one-on-one against their opponent.
Your cooking time starts now.
I definitely had a good start in terms of getting my ingredients together, doing my mise en place, and working towards having an amazing dish at the end. I put 2 sets of water to boil because that was needed for the chunks and the couscous. Once that was done, I wanted to work on the vegetable, which I would have already started.
What I have prepared was a sesame-infused tofu with a vegan stir-fry with a fried okra, a sweet chili drizzle. I marinated the tofu, then I move on to cutting up my vegetables for the stir-fry and season, go through, taste, just make sure everything nice and right, my colors right.
I came in with one perception, and I think with the perception I came in is to definitely work on one level, and I didn't think about what could be the other possibilities. Coming into the following round, in my head I had like so many plating ideas, techniques, and then to hear being given a vegetarian meal to prepare, it took out all of the possibilities of having that protein.
I see one of them look like they're using some curry powder. I don't know if that's what they're doing there, but it looks a little bit like it's some curry powder or some sort of sauce.
The round is progressing slowly but surely. Over here we have Antonio. He's working on some veggie chunks, which very familiar with being Jamaican.
What is veggie chunks?
It's a TVP, textured vegetable protein.
Oh, so it's like a soy protein-based fabricated product.
Exactly. It comes dry, you rehydrate it with some liquid. I'm hoping he uses some Maggi seasoning base to rehydrate it, get it back wet, and then season it up and cook it down. And then Kawame is doing a marinated grilled tofu. I mean, the thing that I like about, cooking vegetarian dishes is that, you can't hide behind the animal-based protein. You have, the vegetables have to shine. So you have to show your skills as a chef.
And if you overcook it 5 seconds, it's overcooked and mushy and not good. And each vegetable has its own profile for that. So you have to have a broad encyclopedic knowledge of how to cook each thing properly. And so it's actually tricky, especially if you're not familiar with it.
Chefs, you have 10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes.
45 minutes for this challenge. Do you think you could have done it in 30?
Yeah, of course. I make dishes 10 minutes, 100%.
So I mean, time shouldn't be a factor here, because even if you make the dish and it's not even done properly, you should have enough time to maybe even
remake the dish.
Try it again.
Well, we've seen how that's worked for previous contestants when they try to remake a thing in the middle of the thing.
And then it fails.
Yeah, it fails,
Well, the one thing I'm optimistic about is that we're not going to get anything raw today.
I was checking my time to see how long I had to plate, but I was waiting on the 5-minute mark to plate because I want the food very hot and nice so the judges get to taste. So I didn't have any issues at all. I just was waiting on the 5-minute mark to start plating.
It should have been a bed of couscous with lettuce, of course, and it would have been like a vegetable melody, which comprises of julienne peppers, carrots, herbs, spices, chunks, of course, and it should have had a bit of diced zucchini, which would have been fried for a bit of crunch. When I realized the time was running out, definitely I had to switch gears, and I started to gather some things I needed, but they were not there, and it kind of threw me off a bit, but I tried my best to provide something on the plate at least.
Is that timer?
Okay. Chefs, your time will be up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step away from the counter.
I'm feeling, a bit disappointed in terms of what I produce. At the end of the round, I had one vision, however, it was, incomplete to my standard and what I wanted to present to the judges.
Chef Antonio, tell me about this. How do you feel? Do you think this is a $10,000 US dish?
I'm not satisfied.
You're not satisfied? Well, this round is very important.
Yeah.
All right. Chef Kawame, tell me, do you stand behind this dish, sir?
100%. Going into that challenge, I feel kind of unstoppable because no matter what they throw at me, I had the mindset that I'm going to go through.
But the final decision is up to the jury. So we will present it, and then afterwards, we will see who will be moving on.
It's time to present the dishes to the jury.
Chef Antonio, what did you prepare for us?
I prepared couscous with vegetable melody. Ideally, I wanted to incorporate a bit more. However, the vision definitely didn't get to materialize as I wanted. But I definitely wanted to have something on the plate to present to you guys.
All right, thank you, Chef.
It's hard, man. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's not having any flavor, right? I know these things are up here, but what it needed was a mix of a little bit more flavor, because you're in the kitchen, and in our kitchen we have all the sauces, all the bouillons, all the different flavors that we could be using. And I think if he maybe use some of it, it would have helped to enhance his dish. Now, 45 minutes to do something vegetarian, that's more than enough time. Yeah. And then the plating style and all of that, I think it's a little bit underwhelming for me. I think we can move on now and look at Kawame. Tell us about your dish.
What I got here is a soya sauce infused tofu with a vegan stir fry, a fried okra, and a sweet chili juice.
Can you explain me what's in the marinade for the tofu? You said soy, but I imagine there's maybe something else?
No, soya sauce.
Just soya sauce?
Just soya sauce, and seasoned with salt and black pepper.
Okay, and you grill it over high heat?
High heat, just to get the perfect cuts and the smoky flavor.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Chef. All right, let's dig in. I like the variety of colors on the plate.
There's a nice smokiness to the tofu.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, maybe a little bit too much, but there's a nice layer to it. Yeah.
The sauce and the vegetables are seasoned very well.
I think everything complements each other. As you consume it, it feels a little bit balanced.
Let's see this fried okra. There's a lot of different elements, a lot of different textural elements on the plate.
Yeah.
You can tell that he thought about the fact that he has a lot of soft things with the tofu and the beans and stuff, so he added the fried okra element to, give it that extra push.
All right, gentlemen, I think we've seen enough in this round. We've made a decision, yeah?
Let's deliberate.
Let's hear what the jury has to say.
So we just saw Kawame and Antonio, and I mean, that was an interesting matchup there. I think what this round reveals is those players that were hiding in the team's challenge. And so now you've got to come out and compete on your own, and now we get to see your individual capability. And I think what we saw there from Antonio was just quite shocking for me.
It was shocking. You know, I think it's very clear he didn't get to finish his dish. The vision he had in his head did not translate onto the plate very clearly.
I mean, I didn't feel like both contestants were making use of the time, but I could tell that Kawame was going a little bit faster than Antonio was, you know? So I think it comes down to time management and usage of the time.
I think we can call the bailiff.
Chefs, Chef Kawame, Chef Antonio. So you were given the challenge to create a 5-star vegetarian dish using a range of products that we provided for you. Now this is the Maggi kitchen, so you have access to the finest seasonings and spices. Chef Kawame, your dish showed a heightened level of culinary expertise. The finesse, the flavors were there, but the jurors thought that you were a little heavy-handed on the turmeric. Chef Antonio, your dish was a bit lacking. The vision that you had for it just did not come to life. You're in the Maggi kitchen. You have a range of seasonings, range of flavors, but your dish was bland. After a long deliberation, the jurors came to the verdict that the chef who will be moving to the next segment is Chef Kawame. Congratulations.
Definitely my competitor did excellent. I got to give credit where it's due.
I was fairly confident. There wasn't doubt in my mind that I was going to lose, or I know that I was going to advance.
Battle 3, Chef Jonathan versus Chef Shameka. Let's take a look at Chef Jonathan's case file.
Hi, my name is Chef John. I'm sous chef at Passy Food and Wines, and I've been doing this for 9 years. My mom always taught me to cook.
He's a very driven person, and he's very meticulous in what he does.
At some point when I was done with school, I thought, hey, let me just try it out. And I started and never looked back. Surinamese cuisine is quite particular because you have a lot of influences, different cultures. You have Indian, Native, you have Creole, Japanese, Chinese. There are so many influences, and the best part is you can have the best of every world.
John is a really creative guy. Really like his way of plating and combining different kind of ingredients.
Everything is spicy, everything is well seasoned. Suriname has the flavors that hasn't been really represented outside of the country, and I think that's our key to winning this competition.
John, all of us customers wish you all the luck in the world, but we know you can do it.
Jonathan, I'm proud of you, my son. You can do it.
You guys have slept on us too long. I'm coming for you.
Let's take a look at Chef Shameka's case file.
Hola, I'm Shameka Manderson. I'm a private chef here at Trial Club. It was a teacher go by the name of Miss Miller in high school. She was like, I think you should try out the chef thing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it for 2 weeks, end up falling in love with it, and I'm a diva.
You know, one thing I love about her is that she's very passionate about what she does. You know, she not only a wonderful chef, but a wonderful person, and that speaks volumes in her cooking.
Number one, if you're a true Jamaican, if you lack a seasoning, a different country and a Jamaica, period. So the flavor, the uniqueness of the flavor, and just everything that comes with it. We cook and flavor everything. If you want mango.
You guys not someone that just come in the kitchen and whop up something to you. Everything that she give you is always, you know, coming from a place of love, and you can taste that in the food.
Big up to Maggi. So yeah, just to try my thing and see what's up.
You are definitely the champion of this competition, and you will always be my champion in the kitchen, yeah?
First of all, I'm the winner, so it's already in my head already, so that's it. Straight confident, boof buff, ready.
Now, let's go to court. The defendants have 40 minutes to prepare a vegetarian dish, one-on-one against their opponent.
Let the trial begin.
All right. The first thing I thought was what for me went wrong in the first round. And I thought, organization, right? This is what I can do better. And I thought if I spend the first 3 minutes just organizing everything so that it's within reach, I can easily just finish everything and make sure that I have enough time to taste everything.
When I stepped in the kitchen, the main thing is just to gather all the important stuff. Get the stuff, try to get everything on the plate on time, even though it's 45 minutes. It might sound long, but trust me, a competition 45 minutes kind of shaky. The only thing was in my head, get it, just try to lick the flavors, try to make them, the judge can say, yeah man, the dish.
Well, I gotta say, this vegetarian round in this competition here has been really interesting. We've seen the whole range of execution, skill sets, from just excellence to much less than excellence. I'm actually surprised at how dynamic and how wide it is.
Yeah, I think they're coming down to the wire now. I mean, this is the knockout. You've got no other chance after now for redemption. So, I mean, whatever it is that you're doing now, you've got to make sure that this is absolutely your best. This is not a 3-course challenge. It is just one dish, and that's going to determine how close you get to the $10,000.
Yeah. I have really, really high expectations for these two last chefs, considering the dishes that Rayan and Kawame put up. I mean, they're gonna have to come and bring their A game to really, really impress us and wow us.
I took everything that I needed, and then I just started marinating, putting up water, making my base for the beurre blanc, and at some point it just all started meshing together.
The first I went in, I was more focusing on getting the main hit for the plate, which is the tofu. Then when I got that, I gathered all the seasoning, even some I don't use, but I just wanted to have everything so I don't all over the kitchen. So I got the seasoning, I start prepping, then start prepping for the sakatash, and then after that, I seasoned the tofu and decided to do the tofu, down to the last minute.
Yes, I'm very interested to see how it's actually going to turn out. Shameka is here again. She always moves a little slow in my opinion. But I mean, it's 45 minutes and it's vegetables, so I guess she will deliver.
I think Shameka's lack of urgency has to do with her confidence. I think she is very confident with this challenge, considering, she cooks as a personal chef for a very prominent Jamaican family of musicians. So I think she's got this one in the bag.
Yeah, because this should actually be her area of expertise.
She's working on a little vegetable medley and a jerk tofu, I believe. So interesting. But I'm very excited to see what Jonathan's doing. He's doing a tofu tataki, which sounds extremely interesting and innovative.
But I think these two, especially Jonathan, his dish is not yet starting to come together based on what he explained that it's going to be. So I'm really looking forward to see if he will make it at the end of the 45-minute mark.
I also saw him using some turmeric in his sauce, and I'm wondering how that's gonna come together with a tataki dish, which is usually traditionally Japanese. So I'm assuming he's gonna use some sort of citrus, or maybe some mirin or soy sauce. So very interested to see how those flavors blend together.
All right, chefs, your time is up in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step away from the counter. All right, your time for cooking has expired. You're looking all nice and fancy here. Chef, how you feel about the dish? Is this a 10,000 US dollar dish? Is this enough to take you to the next round?
To the next round, definitely.
Definitely.
Maybe a $9,000.
Ah, 9,000. All right, Chef Shameka, how is your dish? How do you feel about it? You think this is 10,000? 10,000? 10,000-ish, but she'll still bring it home. Well, after the jurors have deliberated, we'll find out who will be going home and who will bring it home.
It's time to present the dishes to the jury.
Chef Shameka, please tell us about your dish.
So what you guys have here is a sweet potato sakash and a grilled tofu, and the sauce is made from tofu, coconut cream, and mushroom and ginger, and a parsley oil, just maroon, and some fresh toasted cashew to give the dish a little crunch.
So this sauce right here is made from tofu?
Tofu, coconut, and scotch bonnet mushroom, yeah. And then underneath, everything is just played with the flavors and trying to do tofu 2 different ways. So that's why I incorporate the tofu into the sauce.
Is this sauce here in the ramekin different from the sauce that's the vegetables are cooked in?
Yeah.
It's a different sauce?
It's a different sauce. So the vegetable is simmering in coconut milk. All right, thank you, Chef.
Let's go.
Well, I want to try all the components first, and then see, and then, you know, what?
Needs to be seasoned though.
Yeah.
This succotash, I guess, tastes pretty good. She said this, the sauce in the ramekin and the sauce on the succotash are 2 different sauce, but it kind of tastes the same to me. It's muted.
I'm not getting much flavor from it. You know what makes this real good? Ribeye. Yeah? It was a vegetarian challenge, but I guess that's what's missing. All right, let's move on.
Chef Jonathan, please tell us about your dish.
Here we have tofu tataki with quinoa and basil with a cream made from red kidney beans and a little sofrito. And then we have a coconut beurre blanc and a little bit curry oil.
What inspired this dish?
The inspiration for this dish is a little bit of me. Me being a little bit of everything. Indian, Creole, Sudanese, I have Spanish, Portuguese, but I also really like Asian cuisine, Japanese, Vietnamese, Indian, everything.
All right, thank you, Chef.
Shall we begin?
Yes. I think the plate is very well decorated. Yeah, it's presented nice. He has a design eye, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This tofu is moist.
Mm-hmm.
The quinoa is flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly undercooked. Mm-hmm. But it's very flavorful.
All right. I think, guys, it's time for us to deliberate.
Absolutely.
Let's hear what the jury has to say.
I'm really happy to see Jonathan really came and he took the presentation part of the score really seriously, you know? And once you dive in, go beyond the presentation and you taste the elements of the dish, the basil-infused couscous, although, you know, you could even take out the basil or chop the basil, but it had a lot of nice flavor to it. The red bean sauce also had a nice flavor to it. He played with a few different sauces, used a curry oil to kind of offset all of that stuff. So there was a lot of complexity in the simplicity of the look of the presentation. And I think that's because, you know, he says he covets Japanese cuisine, and you could see that sort of approach in his dish. When I think about Shameka's dish, right, it felt like a nice cold glass of water. It was just very bland for me. It's not memorable in terms of what she put on the plate. I actually don't even remember what it tastes like.
Absolutely. I felt like both of the dishes needed a lot of help in terms of flavor profiles. With Shameka, I was really disappointed in her dish. I felt like it was very muted, it was very one note. All I was getting was coconut and a little bit of hint of ginger. The tofu wasn't seasoned. I just needed more from her.
Yeah. I think we've made a decision. Bellies?
Chefs, Chef Shameka, Chef Jonathan, you are both given a challenge to create a vegetarian dish worthy of 10,000 US dollars. You are given just the widest range of the freshest vegetables and seasonings from Maggi. After deliberations, the jurors thought that both your dishes fell short on the flavor. Chef Jonathan, you mastered the technical aspect of plating and demonstrated that you deserve a place here. Chef Shameka, you jerked a tofu which shows innovation and creativity. But at the end of the day, only one chef can move on. So, the chef who will be moving on to the next round is Chef Jonathan. Congratulations. Well tried, Chef.
I almost can't believe that I'm through. Like, Shameka is such a great competitor, and I tasted her succotash and it was so good. It was so good. And I thought, this might send me home. But I also had very much belief in my dish and the flavor composition. I think from this moment on, everyone can just expect that I'm here and I don't plan on going anywhere.
I personally feel like I did a better job than Jonathan, to be honest, meaning of flavor. Even though they say both of us was a lot, but I think with flavor, yes. Everybody feels sad when you fall out of a competition. But I am an excellent chef, so moving forward, next competition, I'm sorry, but I all out. And if Maggi ever come back a problem, I'm going to bring that in my eye.
Next time on Maggi Food Court Caribbean, the court takes quick recess from the culinary trials of the region's best chefs to make way for the next generation. Watch as our junior defendants plead their case for the inaugural Maggi Food Court Caribbean Schools title. This is Maggi Food Court Caribbean.